Hi, I'm Alison Appius, and I review wines from Veneto in northern Italy, outside of Verona. And I'm here today with Pierangelo Tomasi from Tomasi Winery. Welcome, Pierangelo.
Grazie.
And can you tell us a little bit about the winery?
Yeah, Tomasi is 100% a family company. It started in 1902, 109 years ago, with my grandfather. I'm part of the fourth generation, and our mission is to take the company to the next generation.
And so we have two wines here today, your Amarone Classico and a single vineyard. What are some of the most important things that people need to know about Valpolicella and Amarone?
Well, first of all, I would say that people have to know that Valpolicella is a region. It's a region in the northwest of Verona where you produce different wines, red wines, with the same grape varieties. And Amarone is actually the flagship, the most important one, the most prestigious one produced in the area. So I would say that most of the average consumers believe that Valpolicella is a grape. It is not, it is a region.
Could you tell us about the four grapes that you use for these four wines then?
So the grapes are all native, they're indigenous from the area. I'm talking about Corvina, Corvinone, Rondinella and Molinara. They're like four sisters in the sense that they ripe at the same time, they complete each other, they are actually blended together to make Amarone and the Valpolicella wines. Every one has a specific characteristic. So Corvina and also Corvinone gives a lot of body, Rondinella color, and Molinara that kind of softness, gentleness to the wines.
So you use the same grapes to make these two wines, but how would you describe the difference between your regular Amarone Classico and your single vineyard?
So the main difference is in the vineyards where we source the grapes. We own the vineyards 100%, but the estate Amarone Classico is produced with grapes that we source in 3 different vineyards located in 3 different positions of the region, whereas Florian is one specific vineyard located quite close to the winery, to the headquarters of the company.
And what special characteristics do you get from that single vineyard, that one property?
Well, Florian is a fairly small vineyard, and we're talking about 5 hectares of land. It's actually southwest exposed, which means that in a way the sun shines all day long. It's exposed towards the lake Garda, so it has a great influence getting the breeze coming from the lake itself. And the soil is very chalky, which means that the water drains very well. It doesn't stock in the vineyard, and that is quite important for the vines.
And I understand it's a very steep vineyard as well, a terraced vineyard.
Yeah, it's very steep. It's actually cultivated with the traditional training system called pergola. And you can imagine this vineyard really planted up on several terraces, which are in a way protected by handy-made walls that we locally call Marogne.
How would you describe Amarone to somebody who's never had a bottle before?
It's certainly a unique wine. It's unique in the fact that the way you make it is unique. You have to dry the grapes for 5 months before you crush them. It's a full-bodied red wine, rich, very fruity, but at the same time very smooth. So it's a wine you can enjoy with food, but at the same time without food. A perfect, to enjoy a nice, friendly conversation. You can easily have a glass of Amarone without any specific food to match with.
Now, if you are going to have food with it, do you have any favorite pairings?
Yeah, my favorite is actually beef. Beef and game, but I love beef, so I would say a nice roasted beef is my favorite choice with that.
So is there any specific experience you've had talking about Amarone and Valpolicella that you particularly enjoy?
Well, I would say that besides telling people the story of the way you make the wines, what they always enjoy is hearing the fact that Amarone is produced in Valpolicella, which is north of Verona, and Verona is the city of Romeo and Juliet. So Amore and Amarone are actually linked together.
Well, Pierangelo, thank you for telling us about the wines and Valpolicella and for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me here, and I hope to welcome you at Tomasi in the future.